Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We're going to have a two-game series here between the Chicago White Sox and Texas Rangers. And let's take a look at the starting lineup
HORLEN.
for the Chicago White Sox. Leading off, playing shortstop is Anderson. Playing second, batting second is Orta. Batting third, playing first base is Thomas. Batting fourth, playing left field is Quinton. Batting fifth, playing right field is Baines. Batting sixth, playing center field is Lemon. Batting seventh, playing third base is Ward. Batting eighth, doing the catching is Przinski. Batting ninth and doing the pitching is Joe Horlin. And for the hometown Texas Rangers, we got leading off playing center field Rivers. Batting second, playing second, Kinsler. Batting third, playing left field Hamilton. Batting fourth, playing first base Palmera. Batting fifth, playing right field Howard. Batting sixth, doing the catching Rodriguez. Batting seventh, playing third base Bolick. Batting eighth, playing shortstop as Andrus. And on the mound, batting ninth, Dick Bosman. Let's get down to Arlington and get this game started. And we got, just bumped the camera here. Let's reset this camera. Sorry about that. There we go. Whoa. I'm knocking it all over the place. There we go. Okay. There we go. That's a little better. And we got Tim Anderson to lead it off here for the White Sox. And in 2019, he batted .335 with 18 homers and 56 RBIs. Dick Bosman's on the mound for the Rangers. And in 1969, he was 14-5 with a 2.19 ERA and one save. And that's going to be a that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 46-1. That's probably going to be fielding column 3, and it is. And that's going to be an error on Bosman. And E1, and Anderson's going to be on first. So the leadoff batter board here for Chicago. And Jorge Orte is up. And in 1974, batted .316 with 10 homers and 67 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball again back to the mound. Does Bosman field this cleanly? Is the question. That'll be a 26-1. That should be fielding column 2. And it is. And they'll get the runner out at second. He spins around, fires down the shortstop, Elvis. And that'll be out number 1. And it brings up Frank Thomas now. And in 1994, he batted .353, 38 homers. And Ken Castro joins us here, and 101 RBIs. And that's going to be a 37 pass ball by PB3 only. So that's going to be a rare play. Let's see here. Rare play with a runner on first. 37 and 11. That's going to be hit out to left field. And Hamilton's out there. 45, that'll be fielding column 1. And that's going to be a fly out. Hamilton makes a nice catch for out number 1. Out number 2, rather. 2 down now, runner down at first. And Quinton's up. Carlos is batting .287 with 36 homers and 100 RBIs in 2008. Yeah, this is the first time they've been on the channel. Exactly, Ken. Yep. Here's the pitch to Carlos. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Mickey's out there. 55. That'll probably be fielding column 2. Nope, that's going to be fielding column 3. And that's going to be a hit by. Nope, that's going to be first on air. And with 2 outs, as long as he's not an S, he's going to score. So that's going to be an error. And a runner's going to score. So the defense here for the Rangers is letting them down, folks. Runner on first is going to score. We got a runner down at first now. And Harold Baines coming to the plate. And the score is 1-0, an unearned run. And in 1984, Baines hit 304, 29 homers, and 94 RBI. And that's going to be against the righty, 16. And that's going to be a base hit. Harold Baines with an infield hit. Keeps this inning alive. Can the White Sox add some more unearned runs here? And that'll bring up Chet Lemon. Lemon in 1979 batted .318 with 17 homers, 86 RBI. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. But Bosman's error and Rivers' error lead to a run. We go to the bottom of the first. White Sox 1. Rangers coming to the plate. And Mickey, who had that error, will lead it off. And in 1980, Rivers hit .333, 7 homers, and 60 RBIs. And Joe HORLEN in 1964 was 13-9 with a 1.88 ERA. Here's the pitch to Mickey. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here for the Rangers. Kinsler's up now. Kinsler in 2008 batted .319, 18 homers, 71 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. That brings up Hamilton. And Hamilton batted .359, 32 homers, and 100 RBIs in 2010. And that's going to be well hit. Josh Hamilton squares this one up. And he hits it in the gap in right field. He's standing down at second with a 2-out double. Rafael Palmeira steps to the plate. And in 1999, he batted .324, 47 homers, 148 RBI. That's going to be against the righty, 20. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Anderson over to first with Thompson covering. And that'll be out number 3. So the Rangers strand Hamilton at second. We go to the top of the second in a 1-0 White Sox lead. You got the bottom third due up. Ward, Perninsky, and Harlan due up. And Pete Ward in 1963 batted .295, 22 homers, and 84 RBI. And that's going to be against the righty, a 17. And that's going to be a base hit, infield hit for Pete Ward. So the leadoff batter gets aboard again here for the White Sox. AJ comes to the plate. And in 2006, AJ batted .295, 16 homers, 90 and 64 RBI. And that's going to be hit down the third. And a 52 and a 4. Probably might be fielding column 3. And it is fielding column 3. These White Sox are getting smashing the ball all over the place, and these Rangers can't make a play. That's going to be first on air, and runner's going to make it down the second. That's going to be an E5. That's the third error of the game. Looks like these Rangers needed some more spring training. They're playing awful sloppy. Now we got first and second, and Joe's up. And in 1964, he batted 159, no homers and 5 RBIs. He's going to try to lay down a bunt and get both of them in scoring position. And he lays down a nice bunt. That'll be down to first base. Raphael's up with it. And he plays over to first with Kenzer covering. And that'll be out number 1. Now you got second and third and only 1 out. And the top of the order's due up. And Anderson reached on an error his first time up. Here's the pitch to Anderson. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. A big strikeout by Bosman. Needed that. Now there's 2 outs and runners still at second and third. Let's see what Orton can do. He reached on a fielder's choice and came around the score back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Elvis will fire over to first. And the Rangers get out of that mess with nobody scoring. We get to the bottom of the second, still a 1-0 game. We got Howard, Rodriguez, and Bolick due up here. And Frank Howard batted .296, 48 homers, and 111 RBIs in 1969. And that ball is high. How far is this one going to go, folks? And that ball is out of here. Kissing it goodbye. Frank Howard has just tied this game up, folks. Hondo with a home run makes it a 1-1 game. And now you got Pudge Rodriguez due up. And Rodriguez in 1999 batted .332, 35 homers, 113 RBIs. Boom is right, Ken. Hondo crushed that one. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second, over to first for out number 1. So Joe settles down after the homer, gets an out. And Blaylock's up now. And he batted .300. And the camera is starting to fall again. What the hell's going on here? Yeah, there we go. And 29 homers and 90 RBIs in 2003. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Anderson at short, over to Thomas for out number 2 rather. And Elvis comes to the plate. And in 2017, he batted .297, 20 homers, and 88 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out the lemon in center field, and Elvis has left the field. That'll be 1, 2, 3 for the, well, not 1, 2, 3. Howard led off with the homer. So it's now a 1-1 ball game as we get to the top of the third. We got Thomas, Quinton, and Baines due up here. Frank flew out to left his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Frank strikes out for out number 1. Quinton's up next. And Carlos, he reached on an error back in the first. And not this time. He smacks that ball in the right field. Nobody's getting that off the wall. That's a 1-out double. And Harold Baines comes to the plate now with a runner down in scoring position in a tie ball game. Baines had a single back in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Baines is down at first. Carlos at second for Chet Lemon here. And the Rangers need to show some defense and get a double play ball here. Chet struck out back in the first. And not this time. That's going to be a 19. That is going to be a ground ball down, line drive down the second. Let's see here. 56. The 7 will be fielding column 3. Line drive down the second. Doesn't double anybody up, though. But nice play by Kinsler. Now there's 2 outs, and we're still at first and second for Ward. And he singled back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that'll end the inning. And White Sox strand 2. So we go to the bottom of the third. We got Bosman due up in the top of the order with Rivers and Kenzer. And Bosman in 1969 batted .094 with 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out. And that's Joe's first strikeout of the game, folks. Now we're back to the top of the order, and Mickey, he grounded out the short his first time up. And that's going to be a back-to-back strikeouts. Joe's wheeling and dealing here in the third. Can he strike the side out? Ian was 0 for 1. He flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Harold Baines this time. And that'll end the inning. And Rangers go down in order. To the top of the fourth we go. Bottom part of the order due up here. AJ, Joe, and Anderson due up. Back to the top of the order. AJ reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a 16. That's going to be an infield hit, I believe. Yep, that's an infield hit by AJ. He puts on the Jets. Shows off his speed. So AJ's down at first. And Joe's going to try to sacrifice him over. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. 13, that's going to be 2 strikes on him. So now you got the 0-2 pitch. They're keeping the bunt signal down. 36. Sacrifice. Nope. 36 will be a wow pitch. Wow pitch 3. No, so it'll be a rare play. A 16 on a 36 with a runner down at first. Okay. 16 on a 36. And that's going to be a 28. Yep. So that's going to be the team. Let's see what the team is here. 3, 8, 9, 18, 22, 33, 34, 35, 36. That'll be fielding column 1. Long fly to center field. So Mickey makes the catch. And that'll do it for Joe. Instead of putting the bunt down, why he hit a long fly, I'll never know. Gave him the bunt sign. Makes no sense. Joe flies out. That brings us back to the top of the order and Anderson. AJ still down at first. Anderson's 0 for 2. Reached on an error, and we dropped the dice everywhere. And struck out. And that's going to be a 7 against a 18. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. A 31 and a 7. That'll be barely column 2. And they'll get the runner out at second on the 4-6 put out. And Jorge's up now. And he's 0 for 2. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the first and came around the score. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second again. And that'll be a 4-6 put out. And that's the end of the inning. And the White Sox strand 1. We go to the bottom of the fourth in a 1-1 game. You got the big boys due up here for the Rangers. Hamilton, Palmera, and Howard. And Hamilton doubled back in the first. Here's the pitch to Josh. And that's going to be a rare play. 31 and a 40. And that's going to be a 28. That's going to be ball one. So let's see what Josh can do with a 1-0 count. And that's going to be a fly ball out the Baines for out number one. Rafael Palmera comes up now. And he is 0 for 1. He grounded out the short back in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. Rafael will walk on down the first. Here comes the man that has the homer back there in the second. Frank Howard. Can he do it again and give the Rangers a lead here, folks? And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Howard strikes out. For out number two. So now there's 2 outs. And Pudge Rodriguez is up. And he's 0 for 1. He grounded out the second back in the second. And that's going to be a 18. And that's going to be a 29. It's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Pudge out. Now to win the inning. The Rangers lead 1. We get to the top of the 5th in a tie ball game. You got the big boys due up here for the White Sox. Thomas, Quinton, and Baines. Frank's 0 for 2, popped up and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. So lead off batter gets down the first. Go ahead run down there. And Carlos is up. And he is 1 for 2. He doubled back in the third. And that's going to be a double play ball, not a double. Ball's hit down the short. Over to second. Over to Rafael for the old 6-4-3 pitcher's best friend double play. 2 outs, nobody on now for Baines. And he's a perfect 1 for 1. He singled in the first and walked in the third. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We got the bottom third of the order due up. Blaylock, Elvis, and Bosman. And Blaylock is 0 for 1. He grounded out the short back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Ward's up with it, fires over to first for out number 1. Now Elvis comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to center his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. See if Ward can come up with this. He's not that great of a fielding third baseman, but he makes a nice play. Bobbles the ball, though, gets to it. Bobbles it, can't make the throw. Has to eat it. It's going to be an E5. First error here for the White Sox. So Elvis is on. See if Elvis is going to take off here. I think he is. A 29. Elvis is going to take off down the second on a 29. That'll be a 55 or lower. And he's in there safely with a stolen base. So Elvis gets in the scoring position. And now they're going to let Bosman swing away here since he's in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Dick. And that's going to be a 36 with a runner down at second. Might be a pass ball. Wild pitch by a wild pitch. Nope. So it's going to be a rare play. A 33 and a 36. 33 and a 36 will be a 7. About head out to right field. And Baines is out in right field. And that's going to be a fly ball out there, and the runner will get the third. So a fly ball to right, the runner will get down the third. As good as a bunt. So now you got a runner down at third and 2 outs. Back to the top of the order here. Can Mickey deliver here? Mickey had that error back in the first that led to that run. See if he can get a run for his own team here. He's 0 for 2. Grounded out and struck out. And he does pay off. That's well hit. Mickey Rivers trying to turn into the hero instead of the GOAT. And that ball is high. How far is this one going to travel, folks? And kiss it goodbye. That ball is out of here. Mickey Rivers with a homer. And it is now a 3-1 ball game. Mickey makes up for the error and adds 2 runs here in the 5th. And Ian's up now. He's 0 for 2. He's flown out to both corners, left and right. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. That'll end the inning. But the Rivers homer makes it a 3-1 ball game as we go to the top of the 6th. You got Lemon, Ward, and AJ due up here. Chet's 0 for 2. He struck out and had a line drive out to second, got robbed with a hit. And that's going to be a ground ball, a lot easier this time for Kensler. He fires over to Raphael for out number 1. And Mr. Ward's up. And Pete is 1 for 2. He's singled back in the 2nd. And that's going to be another ground ball down the 2nd. 2 ground balls down the 2nd, 2 outs. They might want to pick on somebody else here. Here comes AJ. He is 1 for 2. He's reached base both times, once on an error in the 2nd and a single in the 4th. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And the White Sox go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th. A 3-1 ball game. See the White Sox upcoming schedule. They got one more game here in Texas. And then they go to Tampa Bay to play the Devil Rays. And then it's Chicago to take on these White Sox again. And Hamilton's 1 for 2. He doubled back in the 1st. That's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd for out number 1. And Rafael Palmeiro steps up to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He did walk back in the 4th. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. He turns on that one. And Baines gets over there quickly. He's going to hold him to a single. That brings up Frank Howard, who homered back in the 2nd. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch to Frank. And that's going to be a deep fly ball. This time Baines has got room out there and makes the catch. Now there's 2 down. And it's up to Rodriguez to keep this inning alive here for the Rangers. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. And that'll end the inning, folks. We go to the top of the 7th in a 3-1 ball game. And are we going to pitch hit here for Joe? I think we are. Try to get something going here in the 7th. So that's it for Joe. He'll pitch 6 innings. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Robin Venturina is the only lefty on the bench. So Robin's going to come in here and pitch hit. Try to get a board here. There's Robin. And Robin in 1996 batted .287 with 34 homers and 105 RBIs. And that's going to be against a righty in 18. It's a fly ball, I think, out to center field. Yep, a fly ball to center field. Mickey makes the play for out number 1. And now we're back to the top of the order in Anderson. And Tim is 0 for 3. He's reached on there, struck out, and reached on a fielder's choice. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. And that's going to be the 4th error of the ball game for these Rangers, folks. Like I say, their fielding's been terrible in this game. So now you got a runner down at first and 1 out. Jorge is 0 for 3. He's grounded into 2 fielders. Choice came around to score in the 1st and grounded out to short. Do we want to do a little hit and run here? That is the question. I think they are. They're going to do a hit and run here. Trying to stay out of the double play. 43, a 29 on a hit and run, and a 22 on a 1. What's that? Fielding column 2. Yep, fielding column 2. So fielding column 2 with a hit and run. And the runner will get down the second. Only play is the first. So that's the 1-3 put out. And now you got a runner in scoring position for Frank Thomas. Frank is over 2. He has struck out, walked, and popped up. Do they want to pitch to Thomas? Who's after Thomas? Carlos is. Here's the question. I think they're going to intentionally walk Frank. They don't want Frank to beat him here, even though that brings the go-ahead run to the plate. And they're going to pitch to Carlos here. And Carlos is 1 for 3. He has doubled, but he hit into a 6-4-3 double play back in the 5th. And that's going to be against the righty, an 18 on a 9. First and second. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second, over to first, and that'll end the inning. And the White Sox strand 2 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-1. Got the lefty and 2 righties due up. And Bob Locker is going to come into the game. Pitch. So we'll bring in Bob Locker. Trying to keep this a 2-run game. We'll probably have a pitch hitter for Bosman. So where's Locker? There he is at the top here. So in 1967, Bob was 7-5 with 20 saves and a 2.09 ERA. And Bollock will lead it off here against him. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to short and third. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Lemon in center for out number 1. And Elvis, can he get aboard here? Elvis is 0 for 2. He has flown out, reached on an error, stolen the base, and came around the score back in the 5th. And that's going to be another fly ball out to Mick. 2 fly balls to center, 2 outs, and that's going to be it for Dick Bosman. So Dick comes out of the game after pitching 7 innings, 4-hit, 1-run game. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And Rusty Greer is going to come off the bench here. Where's Rusty? There he is. And in 1996, Rusty batted .332, 18 homers, 100 RBIs. And that ball is high. How far is this one going to go, folks? 16, and that ball is out of here. Kiss it goodbye, Rusty, with a pitch hit homer. Rusty Greer comes off the bench and drives one out to right field. Harold Bain turns around, watches it leave the yard. Nothing he can do. And it is now a 4-1 ball game. That'll bring us to the top of the order in Mickey Rivers. Mickey's 1 for 3. He homered back in the 5th. 2-run shot to give the Rangers a lead. And that's going to be a base hit. And Bob gets the first 2 outs easy. Now he can't get that elusive third out. Mickey's down at first now. Up by 3. Does Mickey take off here? And Mickey's going to take off here, try to get in scoring position. That'll make him a 29. So what's that, a 50 what? 55 or lower. And he's in there. Mickey Rivers with a stolen base gets in the scoring position here with 2 outs. So Mickey down at second. Can Ian add to this 4-1 lead now? A base hit will score Rivers. And that's going to be a base on balls, and Locker is falling apart here, folks. Wheels are coming off the cart with 2 outs, and Josh Hamilton comes to the plate. He has doubled in this game back in the first. He's 1 for 3. And that's going to be against a righty, a 12. And that is going to be a ground ball down the third. And Ward fires over to first. And that'll do it. But the one solo homer by Rusty off the bench makes this a 4-1 ball game as we go to the top of the 8th. See who's going to come out of the pen here. You got the lefty and righty and a lefty due up. And they don't have a lefty in the bullpen, the Rangers don't. So John Wetland's going to come in the game. Try to get a save here. So Wetland's going to come in. Let's see what year this is for John. 1998. And in 1998, John was 3-1, 42 saves with a 2.03 ERA. He'll be facing Baines, Lemon, and Ward. Here's the pitch to Harold. And that's high. That's far. That's gone. How big was that homer now? Harold Baines turns on that one. Welcome to the game, John Wetland. And it is now a 2-run game. Struck out, lined out, and grounded out. And he hits a hard ball. Excuse me. Sure. See where this ends up at. And that's going to be a double in the right field. So they're smacking John around here. That brings the tying run up to the plate and Ward. And that'll get the bullpen up for the Rangers here. Runner down at second and nobody out in a 4-2 ball game. Ward's 1 for 3. He singled back in the second. And that's going to be a 39. Catcher, a 23 and a 9. 23. That should be fielding column 1 easily. Strike runner called off second if neither team leads by more than 3 runs. So Chet Lemon gets picked off. Let's see how that went. He gets picked off. Down at second by Pudge. Pudge fires down there and picks him off, folks. So now it's 1 out, nobody on for Ward. What a big move by Pudge Rodriguez. Takes away the base runner. Ward still at the plate here. And that's going to be a course. It's going to be a, well, I said of course it might not be a 17. Nope, that's going to be a nice play out there by Mickey Rivers. And all of a sudden the defense is starting to show up after the 4 errors. A nice play by Rodriguez. Mickey Rivers dives, makes the catch, robs a base hit from Pete Ward. Keeps this a 4-2 ball game. Now there's 2 outs, nobody on for AJ. He's been on base twice. He has singled back in the 4th, reached on an error, and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. That'll end the inning. But the home run by Baines makes it 4-2. Yeah, it is a good ball game, ain't it? Both of these teams ain't really loaded. I was surprised with Chicago. they're not that loaded of a team in this. I don't think they're going to be the worst team, but they're definitely not going to be contending, I don't think, Ken. So now we go to the bottom of the eighth. You got Palmero, Howard, and Rodriguez due up here against Bob. Bob's due to lead off the excuse me, the top of the ninth. So they'd like to see him get through this eighth inning. Raphael is 1 for 2. He's singled and walked in this game. And that's going to be a base on balls. And that'll get the bullpen up here. They can't afford to give up any more runs. Here comes Howard to the plate. Howard's homered in this game. He's 1 for 3. That's going to be a deep fly ball out the left. Carlos makes the catch for out number 1. And that brings up Pudge. He made that nice throw down the second. He is 0 for 3, though, at the plate. And that's going to be 0 for 4. That's a ground ball down the second. That's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. That'll end the bottom of the eighth. We go to the top of the ninth in a 4-2 ball game. Let's see here. That'll be it for Bob. Have a pitch hitter for him. They don't have no more lefties on the bench. So let's see who's going to come out here. And Ray Dorm, the switch hitter, is going to come off the bench. See if Ray can get on. They need a base runner here. Down by 2. And in 1999, Dorm batted .296, 13 homers, and 60 RBIs. Here's the pitch to him. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second for out number 1. Now we're back to the top of the order in Anderson. See if Anderson can get on base here. He is 0 for 4. He has reached on 2 errors and struck out and grounded into a force play. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And now the White Sox are down to their last out. What can Orte do here? He is 0 for 4. He's reached on 2 fielders' choices, came around the score in the first, and grounded out his other 2 times up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts to end this game. John does a nice job in the ninth. That's your ball game, folks. 4-2 Rangers. Take a look here at the box score. So the Rangers hold on to win this game. Rangers got a decent lineup. I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. And see what the star is. 4 errors. I know it's a wonder they won this game. They tried to give it away. With those 4 errors. The Rangers, 4 runs, 6 hits, and 4 errors. The White Sox, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Harold Baines, 2 for 3 with a homer. Look at that. The White Sox 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Could not come up with the big base hit. Left 9 men on base. Mickey Rivers 2 for 4. Mickey had a homer. Howard 1 for 4 with a homer. And Rusty Greer comes off the bench and hits a homer. Rangers were 1 for 3. Didn't have many opportunities, but took advantage of it. 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They left 5 men on base. Joe picks up his first loss, goes 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, only 1 of them earned. Walked 1, struck out 4, and gave up 2 homers. Bob comes in, 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and gave up the homer. And Dick Bosman picks up the win, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It wasn't earned. Walked 3, struck out 4. John Wetland gets the save, 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 2, and gave up the home run to Baines. Take a look here at the. Oh, you're welcome. And thank you, Ken, buddy. I thought it was a good game, fun game. Let's take a look here at the standings and leaderboard here in the American League. Baltimore's 2-1, a half a game up on Boston, who's 1-1. And Tampa Bay is 1-2, a game back. The Tigers are 2-1, half a game up on the Indians, who are 1-1. White Sox are 0-1. Texas is now 1-0. Oakland's half a game back along with the Mariners. They're both 1-1. And you got Curtis Granderson with a batting 800 leading the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players with 2 homers and 2 players with 4 RBIs. Of course, the ERA leader is going to be 0 this early in the year. 1 win apiece and 1 save apiece for a lot of pitchers. And you got Jorge Cantu leading in the MVP voting, and Jim Palmer's leading in the Cy Young. I want to thank Ken Castro for joining us. We'll have the final game of this 2-game series up next on the channel. Let's see who's pitching here. Looks like it's going to be Wilbur Wood going up for the White Sox, going up against Matlock for the Rangers. Yeah, ignore that Salem Wit. Like I say, it'll be Wilbur Wood going up against Matlock in game number 2. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and on your way out, leave a comment and hit that like button. Till next time, you all have a great day and take care.